Hi, welcome. My name is Anika Spencer, and today we're going to be focusing on an upper body flow. I know for me personally, there's been a lot of leg work happening for me in my daily life. It gets really exciting for me to really tap into this upper body strength and maintain some of those bigger movements or strength training experiences as we move through this. We'll also be working on shoulder flexibility, pliability, mobility, in addition to that strength and activity that we'll work into. To start, let's come into child's pose. Bring the knees to kiss and melt the hips back in towards your heels. You can walk the hands out to forward, and if you want to go right into the stability, turn your thumbs towards the ceiling. You can bring the hands to kiss or keep the hands a little wider. Then press into the floor with the pinky side of the hands and relax your forehead down towards the mat. Take this time to connect with your breath. Noticing the abdomen filling into the thighs. Noticing the low back as it inflates and deflates. If you haven't already started, engage in an ujjayi breath, that slow, deep, audible in and out through the nose. Create a soft audibility by feeling the throat wrapping around the breath, and that might be similar to the sensations you create in the throat when you're trying to fog up a mirror or see your breath outside. But we'll perform that action of the throat while keeping the lips sealed so this stays in the nostrils. Then come forward onto hands and knees, tabletop position. Spread the knees so they're about the width of the hips. On an inhale, tip your tail up, reach your ribs forward as you arch the spine. As you exhale, pull the belly back and in, look in, round, and curl. Inhale as you arch the spine, tail tips up, chest stretches forward. As you exhale, round the spine, look in and curl. Inhale as you arch. Exhale as you round. Come right back through the center. You might want to find a block and place it right behind your hips, but we'll sit back in onto the heels, perhaps a subtle quad stretch. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, twist the spine to the right. Take your left hand lightly to the top of your thigh. The right fingers might reach the floor or maybe not. Stretch up through the top of your skull. Find some of the upper body stability that is a stacked neck. Then press into your left hand to deepen the twist. And externally rotate your arm bone in its sockets, like you're turning the top of the shoulders to look behind you. And on your inhale, come back through center. As you exhale, come back to hands and knees, tabletop position. Walk your hands out to forward and then over and towards the left side of your mat. So we're investigating the line of the side body. Keep wrapping your outer right hip back and knit the lower belly in. Then allow your torso and chest to drip down towards the earth for a side line Anahatasana. Still practicing external rotation. It feels like your right outer arm is spinning down towards the floor. That will create a little strength, but also really emphasize that line of the lat. Sometimes it helps to rotate the thumb to look towards the ceiling, letting the hand turn as well. Release that, lift your chest, walk your hands back through center, and walk those hands out. Rotate the elbows to look down towards the floor, and as you do so, widen the tops of your shoulders down and away from the ears. Good. Then spread your shoulder blades apart so you're pressing into the floor, feeling some protraction. As you inhale, lower the elbows to hover just above the mat. As you exhale, straighten out the arms. Might be a little quiver if you're holding strong to external rotation. Lower your elbows to hover just above the mat. As you exhale, press away and re-extend through the arms. Once more, elbows hover just above the mat. As you exhale, press into the floor, re-extend. Walk your hands back in underneath the shoulders. We'll return to cat-cow. As you inhale, tip the tail up, stretch your chest forward. As you exhale, look in, round and curl. Inhale as you arch the spine. Exhale as you round. Inhale as you arch. Exhale as you round. Come back through neutral, core strong. Sit the weight of your hips back to the heels. Maybe you're on a block or on the heels. Circle the arms up. Inhale. As you exhale, twist, gazing over your back left shoulder. From here, as you spin the thumbs to look up, or perhaps you just turn the shoulders to look back, also investigate, can you spread the shoulder blades away from each other on the back, like they're going to scooch underneath your arm bones? Practicing for some of that weight bearing we do when we're facing the side, involving your shoulder blades. On your next inhale, come back through center. As you exhale, forward and onto hands and knees. Walk the hands out to forward, then over and towards the right this time. Keep wrapping your outer left hip back so it's in line with your right hip. Keeping your lower abdomen on, the bottom of the ribs in. Lower your chest and your forehead heavy towards the mat. If you happen to be one of the people who can really lock out your elbows, you're going to have to create a small bend here. Great time to practice when there's not a lot of weight, so that when you are in a heavily weight-bearing position, you remember what it's like to redistribute the weight instead of sending that through the joint. Still breathing deeply, steadily into that left side of the waist. Lift the chest on your inhale. Walk the hands back to forward on your exhale. Keep those hands away from you. Press into all 5 of each hand, all 5 fingers. Then move the tops of your shoulders away from the ears and rotate your elbows to now look towards the floor. You should be able to look down and see those slightly bent elbow creases. Then as you inhale, lower the elbows to hover, and you might lean the weight a little forward if you want to make this more challenging. As you exhale, straighten out the arms. Nice and controlled, slowly lower the elbows to hover. As you exhale, straighten out the arms. Slowly lower the elbows to hover. Then straighten out the arms. Walk your hands back in underneath your shoulders. Keep that broadening of shoulder tops and a small corkscrew of external rotation, but press firmly into your first finger and thumb. If you have a block behind you, this might be a good time to move it out of the way. Curl your toes under and elevate the hips back to high for downward facing dog. You can pedal the heels side to side, breathing into each calf if that serves. Lift your heels, bend your knees, take as many steps as you like to bring your feet forward to meet your hands. On your inhale, extend your spine, reach your ribs away from the hips, halfway lift. As you exhale, bow back into your legs, forward fold. Press into the earth with your feet, zip in your waistline as you circle the arms all the way up and stand tall. As you exhale, guide your hands down and into your heart. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs. On your inhale, halfway lift, extend the spine. As you exhale, shift it back and into your plank position. You're welcome to lower all the way to the abdomen or halfway towards the earth. Then cobra or upward facing dog. Lift your chest up, broaden the tops of your shoulders. As you exhale, press back for downward facing dog, hips high. If you still want to pedal the heels side to side, great. Still finding that shoulder stability, lengthen the outer line of the arm so you're pressing down and into the floor. But notice if that creates a squeeze and a hike up of the top of the shoulders towards the ears, and you'll broaden that space while still pressing away. Lift your heels, bend your knees, could be mini steps or one big step to the top of your mat. On your inhale, find a halfway lift, extend the spine halfway up. As you exhale, bow back into your legs, forward fold. Circle the arms all the way up to tall. We'll stretch up, palms connect. As you exhale, guide your hands inwards into your heart. On an inhale, circle the arms up, stretch tall. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, chest reaches out. Exhale, plant your palms and shift it back and into your plank. Lower just your right forearm down and onto the floor. And if you need to place the knees on the mat, that's great. Position your elbows so that it's right underneath your shoulder. Widen the top of the shoulder away from the ear and press down so you're feeling the shoulder blade spread. Then walk your left hand in so it's in line with your elbow. Hug that left elbow in towards the side of the ribs like it's tapping the rib cage, and you'll find that external rotation. Then reach your chest out and try to move left shoulder away from your left ear. Good, so fun. Lower the left forearm down, lower the front of the hips down, press into the tops of the feet and stretch your chest forward. As you exhale, press into the knees. Try to drag your elbows back in towards the knees as you lift the abdomen in. As you inhale, Sphinx pose, stretch the ribs forward, wide collarbones. Exhale, press into the floor, drag the elbows towards the back of your mat as the belly pulls back and in. Uno más. Inhale. Exhale, press into the floor, lift the abdomen in. And as you inhale, stretch your chest forward. As you exhale, lower your forehead to the mat. Hands beneath your shoulders, elevate the hips back up to high for downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right inner thigh up. As you exhale, bring your right foot forward and through between your hands. Stretch all the way up for crescent lunge, rising tall through your fingers. And then as you exhale, bring your hands forward in front of your torso and chest. On your inhale, reach forward, but keep the tops of your shoulder blades down. As you exhale, reach up and let the shoulders squeeze around the ears. Open the palms to the side, draw your hands behind you like they're magnetic as you broaden the chest. Then as you exhale, stretch your fingers down to the floor. Inhale, reach forward, keep the collarbones broad as you move the shoulder blades away from one another. As you exhale, lift up, let the tops of the shoulders squeeze. Backs of the hands are like magnets, small bend to the elbows as you broaden across the chest. Exhale, reach your fingertips down to the floor. Once more, inhale, fingers reach forward, shoulder blades move. Exhale, let them lift. Backs of the hands like magnets, inhale. Exhale, fingertips reach towards the floor. Nice. Inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, release the hands down towards the mat. Shift it back and into your plank position. This time, lower the left elbow down. Good. Notice that you're pressing away from the floor and widening the top of the shoulder. Still squaring yourself off. If you need help with that, you can widen the feet. You can set the knees down. Take your right hand, line it up with the elbow, then start to pin that right elbow in right towards the ribs. So you're making almost a 90-degree angle here. Sometimes it's common to let the front of the shoulders sink down. We'll draw it back, slide it down the back, stretch your ribs and chest forward. Good. Then lower the forearm down, lower the abdomen down. Sphinx pose, lift forward with your heart and chest. As you exhale, lift the abdomen in, press away from the floor. As you inhale, reach your ribs forward. Use the core as you press into the knees and try to pull the elbows back in towards the knees. Once more, inhale. Exhale, press. Inhale, Sphinx, wide and soft across your shoulder tops. Exhale, forehead lowers down to the mat. Hands beneath your shoulders, elevate your hips back up to high. It's downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift with that left thigh. As you exhale, bring the foot forward and through between your hands. Stretch up long through both sides of your waist. It's crescent lunge. As you exhale, fingertips reach forward. On your inhale, reach further out. Let the shoulder blades move. As you exhale, lift up, let your shoulder blades squeeze. On your inhale, backs of the hands are magnetic, small bend to the elbows, chest open and free. Exhale, fingertips reach to the floor and descend. Inhale, fingers reach forward, protract your shoulders, spread the shoulder blades. As you exhale, lift up, feel that elevation, that squeeze. Backs of the hands like magnets, open chest, shoulder blades try to tap behind you. Exhale, feel them deflate or descend down towards the floor. Once more, inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hands reach behind. Exhale, fingers to the floor. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, release your hands down towards the mat. Shift it back and into your plank position. Option to take a slow chaturanga, emulating that position you created with the forearms on the floor. Upward facing dog, maybe cobra. Downward facing dog, hips go back up to high. Lift your heels, bend your knees. You can step or walk. Maybe you want to take an Uber or hop forward to the top of your mat. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bow forward. Circle the arms all the way up to tall. We'll stretch up. As you exhale, guide your hands down and into your heart. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, bind the hands behind the back. Lengthen your knuckles down and towards the floor, but keep that small elbow bend. Then draw your chin down to your chest. On your inhale, roll your right ear over to your right shoulder. As you exhale, bring the chin back into your throat. On your inhale, with a relaxed jaw, roll your left ear over to your left shoulder. As you exhale, chin back to your chest. Inhale, right ear goes over to the right. Then chin back in. Left ear over to the left. Then chin back in. Last time, right ear to the right. Back into the chest. Left ear to the left. Then back to the chest. Release the hands. Inhale, circle the hands up. Then as you exhale, step wide to the back of your mat and turn both toes to the side, setting up for Prasarita. On your inhale, feel that length through both sides of the waist. Practice corkscrewing your arm bones forward. As you exhale, keep that as you bend the knees and bring the hands to the floor underneath you. This might be a great time to place blocks underneath your hands. This also might be a great time to bend the knees if you want to be closer towards the floor. Bend your elbows down and towards the floor. And you can imagine or actually place a block between your elbows so you have something to squeeze. Hands might be on the mat, and just like we did when we were hovering into that strength earlier, try to bring your elbows about halfway down. Keep squeezing the block. Broaden the tops of your shoulders, and if you're not working with the block, imagine it's there and that you're going to press the insides of the elbows into that space. Take a nice neutral neck or even a relaxed neck. Zip the waistline in, feel the front of the abdomen draw back, and see how intensely you can hold the block with the inner elbows. For some of us, this might feel nigh impossible, and it's totally okay if you get a quiver. Great. You can release the block, let it drop down or set it forward. Inhale, find a halfway lift. As we exhale, turn your toes out to the side. Take the hips down to low. Inhale, stretch the arms up, goddess squat. As you exhale, bind the hands behind the back again. Lengthen your knuckles down towards the floor. On your inhale, tip your left shoulder over towards the left. Move your top right shoulder backwards like your hands are getting heavy towards the mat. Hold your core nice and strong. On your inhale, come back through center. As you exhale, right shoulder goes over towards the right. Left shoulder wraps back and behind you. Hands heavy towards the floor and abdomen's holding in and on. So we're not hanging into the side body. We're rather lengthening but also strengthening. Inhale through the middle. Exhale, left shoulder to the left, right shoulder wraps back. Inhale through the middle. Right shoulder to the right, top left shoulder wraps back. Once more through the middle. And to the side. Inhale through the middle. Exhale to the side. Inhale through the middle, arms up. Chair pose to the top of your mat. Hips drop low, arms stretch up. Twist your spine to the right. Take your right hand behind you, left hand forward. You can stay high in this twist, but externally rotate your shoulders. And if it intrigues you, you can bend the elbows like you're going to press the back of the palms behind you. I keep twisting, and to help you along, hips are going to stay where they are, but you might try to drive that right elbow behind you, really opening up this upper thoracic spine area. Meanwhile, left shoulder still opening up and pressing back. Back through center, inhale. Exhale, release the hands, stand tall. On your inhale, circle the arms up again. As you exhale, bind the hands behind the back, knuckles lengthen towards the floor. Chin drops down and in towards your chest. Chin sweeps this time. As you inhale, circle the chin to look over towards your right shoulder, forehead's heavy. As you exhale, chin back to your throat. Inhale, chin sweeps over and towards your left shoulder. Then back to your chest. Chin sweeps over and towards the right, forehead's heavy. And to the chest. Chin over and towards the left, forehead heavy. And to the chest. Really relaxing the jaw, chin, and forehead to the right. And back to the heart. Chin and forehead to the left. And back to the heart. Restack the ears over the shoulders, free the arms and stretch the arms up. Then as you exhale, step it wide to the side for your prasarita. Toes are pointing straight ahead, even a little inwards. Good. This time, take your hands and walk them up the back, either connecting the knuckles with one another, making fists. If that's the case, you'll press the backs of the hands into the back, feel your chest open up. Or take reverse prayer, palms coming to touch one another behind you.
Same story, pinky side of the hand presses into the back, fronts of the shoulders draw back. Then fold forward here, prasarita.
Keep pressing into the earth with both sides of your feet. Note if your hips tend to go behind the heels, and we'll instead line up the back of the hips with the heels, even though that might feel like gravity is going to spill you forward.
Release the hands to the mat. Inhale, find your halfway lift, utilizing your blocks if that's helpful. Rotate your toes to look to the side. Good. Knees are open, aligning in the direction of the toes. Arms stretch up. Inhale. Rotate the pinkies to look forward, so we're corkscrewing externally, finding that strength. On your inhale, hover over the left. Top side of the waist is still turning open. Thumbs drive back. As you exhale, come back up. Waistline strong, bottom of the ribs in. Hover over and towards that right side. Then come back up. Hover over and towards the left. And rise. Hover and towards the right. Then rise. Last one. Hover to the left. And come back up. Hover to the right. Then come back up. Great. Step forward to the top of your mat. Hips drop low. Then twist your spine. Left hand reaches behind you. Palm is open. And you might even take this time to bend the elbows like you're going to press the back of the hands behind you. Use that drive back of the shoulder to really open you up across the chest. But notice if the hips try to compensate here. We'll keep them aligned with one another. Keep the waistline in. So we're really working with this upper back space. Maybe that bottom shoulder tries to follow you, and you'll keep pressing that back as well as you open. Come back through center. Inhale. As you exhale, relax the hands down by your sides. Toes stay kissing, hips drop low, arms stretch up. As you exhale, twist to the right. Option to simply place that left hand on top of the thigh, or maybe you take your cactus arms and hook the elbow here. Wherever you are, as you leverage into this twist, try external rotation with the shoulders, and also that spread apart of the scapula, like they're widening out underneath. And that'll help you with the twist, yes, but it'll also be a practice for any of your side bearing, weight bearing. Good. Come back through center. Inhale. As you exhale, step it back with your left foot. Inhale for crescent, stretch tall. As you exhale, release the hands down towards the mat. Shift it back into your plank position, lower both forearms to the floor. Then walk your feet in. You can stay right here, keeping the elbows beneath the shoulders, practicing pressing away from the earth, relaxing here through the neck. If you want a little extra strength, inhale, bring your face forward to hover above your hands. As you exhale, move your chest back towards the legs. Inhale, face comes forward. You might even tap the hands with the face. Then bring your chest back. Face comes forward. Maybe you tap the nose to the floor. Then press your chest back. 2 more. Tap it forward. And press back. Tap it forward. And press back. Good. Set the knees down and towards the earth. Sink your hips back and towards the heels. Child's pose. Even rolling the forehead along the earth. If you'd like, you can bring your hands down by the sides of your hips for a little break. Bring your hands back to forward, hands and knees tabletop position. Elevate the hips back up to tall.
Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or walk your feet to the hands. Maybe you hop. On your inhale, extended spine, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back in. Bring your toes to kiss. Draw the backs of the thighs back. Inhale, stretch the arms up. We'll take that twist again, opening up across the chest, and you can just take that same shoulder position as the first time we visited. Or try it with a little bit of extra effort, pressing that hand, that bottom elbow into the space of the outer leg. Still broadening across the chest and feeling those shoulder blades spread away from each other, but also staying down. Release that inhale. Exhale, step back for your crescent. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, hands to your mat, shift it back to plank. Left palm stays planted down. Roll to the pinky edge side of your left foot. Side plank for 3 to 5 breaths. Really feeling that press into the earth with the bottom arm, that corkscrew underneath you of the shoulder, and the spreading of your bottom shoulder blade apart. Great. Test it out on the other side. Hands come down to the earth. Right hand glues. Nice long spine. Feel the shoulder blade widening underneath your armpit. Small bend to the elbow if that's a temptation for you. Nice long neck. Great. Lower that hand down and towards the earth. Lower both elbows down. Feet can walk in, and you can come into the same variation. Maybe it's dolphin stretch. If you need a little less, you can place the knees on the earth and point the fingers towards the ceiling as you press down into the elbows actively. Different opportunity, bind the hands, keep your elbows beneath the shoulders, then lightly weight the top of your head to the earth. We'll bring one heel in, maybe 2 heels in, and investigate stretching the toes and the legs up and towards the ceiling. You might take 5 to 10 breaths. Notice that the head is just a balancing point as we root down and into the forearms. Whenever you're ready, you can bring the feet back to the earth. Feel free to stay for a few breaths. We'll meet in child's pose. Hands down by your sides. Forehead resting. Landing here to reconnect with the breath if your attention ever drifted from that space. Noticing what is most valuable to you, what is most important in your practice. And also what your temptations or distractions are. It's not that those are bad, it's almost as though they're here to help you harness yourself. Help you hone your own understanding. And sit back onto the heels again, and you might want to block again. Take the backs of your hands to the outer hips. Relax the tops of your shoulders and your jaw. Then start to hug the outside of your elbows towards one another in front of you. Almost like you have a block in front of you again and you're trying to squeeze it, but this time with the outer elbows. You can keep your head set back. This might be plenty for you. It usually is. If you want a little more, reposition the feet so you're in malasana and tuck the elbows to the insides of the knees. And then for that extra stretch, you'll move the knees slightly closer together. Listen to that whisper of the breath, and maybe it's not challenges this go around. Maybe it's encouragement. Maybe it's reassurance of those original values, that original intention. Perhaps you and this aspect of you are in alliance with one another, but also there are other alliances, other aspects of you, or other components of your experience that want the same thing. And unravel your hands from inside the legs, moving the feet forward. Bend your knees and recline down and onto the mat. Take your feet nice and wide and allow your knees to knock inward onto one another. Hands can be resting here, right on your side. Then turn the knees to point towards the ceiling. Rotate the knees to now point out. And if you would like to, you can find blocks or even a blanket roll here and place it on the outer edges of the knees. Take your right hand and tuck it right underneath you. As the knees widen, allow the front of your right shoulder to melt heavy towards the earth. If it feels nice, you can make a little pillow for yourself behind you with your opposite arm. If you want more, you can walk the hand up the back. Really gather yourself around the breath, and you don't necessarily need to practice ujjayi anymore. This breath doesn't have to be audible. You are encouraged to slow down the breath, taking your time on your next inhale. And taking your time on the next exhale. Trying for a slow inhalation and a full one. And a slow exhalation. But a full one. You might point the knees towards the ceiling as you make this adjustment. Unfurl the right hand from behind you. Take the left hand underneath you this time, working it up the back, and it doesn't have to arrive in the same place. Depending on what you had enough of, if you want to go back to the open hips, it's an option. If you'd rather or feel more balanced by breaking the feet back to wide, knees knocking in again, that's still here. If you want to add in the top arm, right hand goes above, elbow bends, so you're making a little pillow for your head, and you can readjust at any time. Notice if that readjustment is a way to avoid or is it a way to investigate? Relax the front of your left shoulder. Find the breath again. Still breathing intentionally slow.
adding in a pause at the top of your inhale as you fill up slowly. Go all the way to the top and hold lightly. Then release it again, breathing out nice and slow and complete. And then hold the breath out briefly. Trying that again. Inhale slowly through the nose. And pause at the top. Breathe out slowly through the nose. And pause at the bottom. One more time. Inhale. And pause. Exhale. And pause. And then undo the hips, undo the arms. Open up the hands by your sides and allow the backs of the thighs to be heavy into the floor. Let the eyes lid softly. Allow the teeth to part. Letting any stillness or any wisdom show up whenever it shows up. Start to move the fingers and the toes, maybe ankles or wrists. Take one arm up and overhead and bend your knees. Shift your weight over to either side. Then press all the way up and into a seat. Take your hands, connect them right in front of your chest. And bowing inward to the practice as well as to yourself. I bow to you. Namaste. Thank you all so much. You did a great job. Please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube page, follow us online, as well as if you're interested in a one-on-one consult, we would love to hear from you over email and set that up for you with one of our amazing trainers. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.